So we have to understand the relations amongst our country. In the first place, let me say good morning, and let me thank for this invitation addressed to me by Mr. Falligo. I would like to greet you on behalf of Vincenzo Boccia, the President of Confindustria, CEO of Confindustria, and especially the President of Union of Entrepreneurs, Mr. Shocking. And I do know that he has and he entertains contacts that are very careful and that carefully look after the relations between us. Now, how is the situation between businesses in Russia and in Italy? What kind of situation are we witnessing? Well, I believe that our relations are definitely very much existing and present. It should suffice to think that in the Russian federations, there are ongoing productive investments by Italian businesses equal to some 10 billions and a half of euros. There are some 570 businesses that are present in the Russian federations with 51 staff members, with 51 workers, which is incredible considering what in the past 3 years has been the economic situation that we have witnessed and suffered. Now, if we add to this other companies, businesses that have trading relations, we reach the incredible number of 21,000 businesses present in that territory. This is something that is the evidence of a stability of the relations existing between our two countries. Notwithstanding what happened in the year 2015, Italy still was the fifth supplier of the Federation, the Russian Federation, and the third client. There is an interchange, or there is a trading exchange that has gone down to 21 billion euros, which was cut by almost a third. But nonetheless, the data, the numerical data, still allow us to look at the Russian Federation with great attention and with great trust and hope. Unfortunately, the crisis began with the Ukrainian-Russian crisis in the year 2013, and that on top of that we had sanctions, counter-sanctions, the devaluation of the ruble, the going down of the price of oil barrels, which entailed important losses. In the year 2014, we lost some almost €1.2 billion. In the year 2015, that loss went up to 2.5 billion. So we have been piling up net losses equal to more than 3.5 billion in terms of exports towards Russia. This gives us the shiver. In the first 6 months of the year 2016, we lose another extra 7%. Notwithstanding all this, I must say that we still look at that geographical area with trust, hope, and attention, great attention. There are lots of perspectives because the direction taken by our companies, not only large companies that are the leaders and that have important settlements and that are sort of the bandwagons of the entire sector. And I'm referring to small and medium businesses because they made lots of efforts. Their process in order to access the Russian market was long, time-consuming, costly. And I would like to say that this maybe is the most important thing, whereby these companies represent a strong leading aspect, a strong bandwagon. But then there are many more examples, and here I'm referring especially to the agreements that were recently signed. 9 agreements were recently signed in the Forum of St. Petersburg by Italian companies. Italy was the guest of honor, and there were 21 excellencies, Italian excellencies, that were attending the forum, 9 of which were companies that did sign international agreements, trading agreements. Again, this happened in the year 2016, just a few months ago. Now, all of them are examples that make us have good hopes and be positive about what's going on. Now, one of the opportunities out of which even the Italian companies may be getting some stimuli, extra stimuli, is represented by the document which envisages, especially as far the replacement of our relations by allowing for local settlements. So in the year 2014, a new document that was signed in Russia envisages by the year that is coming the possibility of replacing all this with direct settlements is what stands for an excellent opportunity for our companies having their own skills and technologies and competences that until now have been and are still very much appreciated. And I believe that this is what will allow us to make good what was a loss that piled up in past years. In the year 2016, our data, we've seen a strong trend, negative trend. Hopefully, this trend is going to go to zero and to be zeroed down, especially in the rubber, plastic, transportation sector. The situation seems to be already changing and almost reversing. So this is what is comforting us. Now, obviously, and reassuring us, this is obviously not allowing us to make exception from this political situation. And even our Prime Minister, the only European leader who attended the Forum of St. Petersburg, is the one who imparted a great impetus to our efforts. Our own confederation, and especially the German association, is making strong pressures upon their own governments so as to appeal to their responsibility and accountability so as to invert this dramatic trend and this dramatic situation. And I know that this is something which is entailing a time-consuming kind of effort. We will have to play our own role. We probably are not going to be the leaders or the main players, but we can only still go on believing, proving, and bringing new results, trying to reach new results with great farsightedness. We should try and do our best to prove that the economy is sort of picking up, if not speeding up. So we have to prove and give evidence that our skills are going to be the evidence, notwithstanding the many limits that were imposed upon us, the many limitations. And we have, as I said, to take into account the strong damage suffered by our own companies and collaborators and workers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. In the first place, let me say thank you for what you said, for the kind words, for the contribution also on the side of the Russian authorities, meant to facilitate the access of Western companies and businesses into and to the Russian market. It is often said that we will be happy to see in Russia the representatives of the Russian businesses who will have the opportunity of sort of sharing their own technologies, contribute with their own technologies, if not exchange them. Now, if Italy is ready, I wonder whether this exchange could stand as a new economic cooperation model, a model which will allow us to protect ourselves and to hedge ourselves from political risks. Well, yes, the Italian businesses are more than ready. The Italian businesses have shown, thanks to the results that they've cropped in the past years, that they are not only ready, but also available and very much careful and attentive to any such changes and evolutions. Before the crisis, Italy, within the European Union, was the country that was having the growth of its own shares and quota of imports. There was a growth in that sense. And thanks to that trading activity and interchange or exchange, it was possible for Italy to be appreciated on the Russian market. Now we have to take a different speed. We have to prove and we have to show that we are capable of accessing the Russian markets and together with the Russian companies, with new partners, with new partnerships and collaborations. We have to prove that we can meet the needs, the new needs, and meet the challenge. I must say that Confindustria, together with the Economic Ministry of Development and together with ICE, the Foreign Trade and Exchange Institute, to try and allow all of the Italian companies to acquire this new kind of sensitivity. In the month of November, next November, we've organized 4 different events in the most important cities in the north of Italy. And it's going to be sort of a roadshow showing what are the possibilities to invest, because in Russia there have been new facilitation tools made available from the fiscal point of view, from the support point of view, support to new initiatives, I mean. And this project, which we are considering, envisages a package of 95 submitted proposals to different regions, each one coming with its own peculiarity. And the ICE office is proving that new due diligence activities have been carried out in order to understand what tools are available. So we are ready. Yes, we are ready in all of the sectors, even in the agro-food sector, which was probably one of the most highly damaged by the measures that were taken, dramatic measures, I would like to say, tragic measures. And obviously, I need not refer to infrastructures, mechanics, mechanical infrastructures that are deeply suffering. And in the year 2016, they are suffering by sort of 16% less imports or exports that we had in previous years. We know that I believe that this is the best identity card or business card that we could ever produce to try and develop by the year 2020 new collaboration initiatives, new cooperation initiatives, and new partnerships.